I
Wow.
think. What are you saying?
Here's some breaking news as we talk here, right on the
Wow.
pot. According to Benny Arthur, the Tennessee Titans could possibly release quarterback Malik Willis a year into their draft pick, a guy that the Steelers were in on, a guy that the Steelers should have had, which, I mean, not to change direction here, but I mean, you look back at that. That's
Kenny
the best
won.
decision. Yeah, that's the best decision the Steelers have made in a long, 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 long time. And we were way off, but I'm glad that we were.
Yeah. I mean, God, the Titans are in such an awful spot.
Awful spot.
They might pick first overall next year. They are that bad. Like, I think they are genuinely going to be that bad. I don't know what their future looks like. I don't know.
They didn't even
what
get a
their plan.
quarterback, right? Or did they get Willis?
I think Willis was their guy. I don't think they got a quarterback. Maybe they drafted a late one this year.
Where did Will Levis go?
Will Levis went to the.
See, like, you don't pay attention. The Titans.
Will Levis,
Yeah. The Titans. He's in the Titans. I had a feeling he went to Tennessee. So he might be there.
I'm not very optimistic about that either. Like,
no. Especially as a rookie, like, you're not going to turn that ship around. There's nobody to throw the football to. Your offensive line's a little weak. Derrick Henry. I mean, how long could he just do it all? You have no defense whatsoever.
Don't they want to trade him?
Yeah, those are like the reports. But until a guy like that, like, if you wanted to trade him, you could trade him. Everybody's calling about Derrick Henry. Nobody's not calling about Derrick Henry. If he wasn't good, yeah. But the fact that he's just like continuously just a dominant force in the NFL, you're like, yeah, somebody would have traded for him.
I think you're calling about Derrick Henry, but I'm sure they're asking for like 2 firsts or something. And
that'd be ridiculous. Ridiculous. Yeah, but if you're yeah. But I still think even that noise would get out, that teams were calling about Derrick, like you get calls. I mean, the Steelers' big headline that we're going to talk about is JJ Watt. And that's not even calls. Calls aren't being made. It was a 4-second Twitter conversation that has now exploded into, will JJ Watt ever suit up for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Like, the noise would get out. The NFL doesn't just, they're not going to sit there for 3 hours releasing a schedule and keep the Derrick Henry noise to a minimum. So I think that if people called, they'd know. But I agree. I don't think the Titans have no hope. Malik Willis, that's a rough one for Malik Willis. Let's ask this. Let's toss this one out there. If the Titans release Malik Willis, do the Pittsburgh Steelers pick him up? They loved him. Like, he was the guy right up until draft night. He was the guy. I had the article written. Like, that was it. I was so sold. I was like, this is the only guy I have to have prepped because this is the only guy they're going to pick. He was their guy. They decided not to go. Do you pick him up if you're the Steelers?
Yeah, maybe. I guess, like, I don't think it can hurt, but I don't think he's going to contribute in any meaningful way. And I don't know. I'm not sold on his future. So no. I don't think you're any worse off riding with one of those undrafted guys that you
over Malik Willis.
Yeah. I mean, like, what?
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't want to, you don't want to count a guy out after 1 year, but did Malik Willis show you anything that, like, inspired any kind of confidence?
No, definitely not. But I think that was the thing coming in is, like, that was the argument is Kenny Pickett's the most pro ready, but Malik Willis has the most upside or whatever. I don't know if Malik Willis has the most upside, and maybe, raw. Maybe he's ridiculously raw. Maybe he's way, way too raw. Maybe the fact that he went to Liberty, just, we should count that more, moving forward, is if this guy does not go to a big school, maybe he can't play big competition. But I don't know, as a third quarterback, to get the guy that you potentially thought about as your first pick in the draft a year ago, your next franchise quarterback, it's not a bad move. Like, that's a win-win for the Steelers. If they could somehow a year deep end up with Kenny Pickett and Malik Willis with Mitch Trubisky chilling there right in the middle, I mean, that's like Madden. That's Madden. You don't do that in real life. That doesn't actually happen.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Sure, they can go nuts. They can get him.
Yeah, like, what's he going to be worth? Nothing. Vet minimum.
And you can just cut him.
Yeah. Cut him. If he stinks, cut him. Get rid of him. You don't have to give him any reps. this summer. None once he can sit there as Chris Oladokun all summer long.
Yeah.
Or, he becomes your next backup quarterback and you got an RG3 Kirk Cousins situation going on and you're feeling real, real good. Think about that. Think about that one. How far the quarterback situations have come. At one point in our life, we watched the Washington Commanders draft RG3, number 2 overall, and then be able to come back in the second round and get Kirk Cousins, who's been a starter for 12 years now. And in today's draft, you're like, there might not be any quarterbacks at all that are good. Like that's the last 2 years of our life. That's crazy how much football is changing. It's wild.
Yeah. I remember every year growing up when I was a kid, there was always like at least 2 quarterbacks. People are like, this guy's generational. Like you gotta get him.
And they
Doesn't
were
seem
like that. There's a crazy, a lot of them stunk, but
yeah.
some of them, like you had the Matt Staffords coming out. Like that was the biggest deal. Sam Bradford was another one. If he didn't get hurt every single season, the expectations for that guy were humongous.
Yeah.
Obviously Kirk Cousins, Andrew Luck, like the list was.
Luck kind of panned out, but I remember one of the most
Luck would have
vivid
been
ones.
ridiculous.
Yeah. Winston and Mariota.
Winston.
I love
Me too.
Mariota.
Me too. But I think that was the change. That was the beginning of the end, when them, and then it went like Sam Darnold and those guys. And now we're here. So huge news for the Tennessee Titans and possibly the Pittsburgh Steelers. Rough news for Malik Willis. Hope everything works out for him.